Welcome to our YouTube channel. My name is Laurie Gombos, the owner of Outback Motortek. Today I'm going to be showing you how to install our Pannier racks on a 2016-2017 edition Honda Africa Twin 1000. So this is actually the one. This is our Pannier racks. It's already mounted. I put it on like 2 years ago. I will disassemble it fully or partially, and I'll explain each steps as thoroughly as possible. But what you see here in the video, this is the X-Frames model with the corner welded mounting tabs and the rotor packs mount inserted in the center. So I will be walking you through the steps. I will be telling you what our recommended tools are and what's the hardware we're going to be supplying, like bolts, nuts, washers, mounting tabs, and so on. So I suggest we dive straight into it and let's get this work done as soon as possible. So here we go. I'm actually going to walk you through the suggested recommended tools. I put the tools where they're supposed to go to the corresponding bolts and nuts. So down here, for example, to the foot peg, you're not going to have to remove the foot peg fully. This one should be okay to remove. And for this, you're going to need an 8mm Allen with a ratchet in combination, like so. Up here, this is a 12mm socket. Again, use the ratchet, because this is actually the OEM factory Honda bolt, which you will put back in. Okay, so this will be a 12mm up here. You're going to have to remove the seat. It's a 6mm bolt. Let's see, back on this side, the front upper tab, this is a 6mm Allen. On the other side, here's a nut you will put on, a nylock nut. And for this, you're going to have to use a 13mm wrench or spanner. Okay, so we'll go there. Up here, this cross brace, the top cross brace, this is the top one, this is the rear one. The top cross brace, it's a 6mm bolt, and the corresponding socket is 10mm. And on the other side, there'll be also 10mm wrench or socket, or another, wrench or socket or a spanner, which I have right here, 10mm. There you go. It also goes back here, but we'll get there. So this is it. Down here, 13mm socket or wrench up here as well, because this, we're going to supply 2 long bolts. They are 80mm long, and they will go through the subframe. They come up right here. There's a nylock nut and the large washer. So use a 13mm socket, and on the other side down there is also a 13mm socket or wrench. Back here for the cross brace, this is also a 10mm wrench or spanner, and on the other side you could use a 10mm socket with the ratchet. Okay, and obviously it's the same on the other side, not just the left side. So these are the tools. There is a slightly complex part here. You're going to actually have to drill a hole into the plastic, the mudguard fender in here. And I already drilled it back then, but what I recommend you to use is a tool just like this. All right, so it's got the 22 millimeter setting, which is our spacers width. This two spacers go in here, two aluminum spacer 1 and 2. And the diameter of the hole that you got to drill is up to 22 millimeters. And we have the 22 millimeter setting right there. And a nice handy little drill. Alrighty, so I removed the left side Pannier rack and the cross braces. I left the right side on because it's essentially the very same thing. And I will be demonstrating everything on the right side and the center. So removed the left side and the cross brace. And this is where you're gonna grab your little drill and drill a hole here up to 22 millimeters. For this, on our website, we actually have a video installations menu, and you will be able to download and print the drilling template for this here. So you're going to drill a hole right there, and you can actually peek through here, and we're going to run our bolts through the subframe. We're going to be installing this cross brace. You have to make sure that this is the right side. The longer side is on the right side because that's where we've got the exhaust. And because it's not fully symmetrical, we need to extend this cross brace a bit further out. So these are the two aluminum spacers. And both of them will actually go right up in here in the corresponding hole, right there. They're not going to stay in place, just like that. So what you got to do, I'm going to do it with 2 hands free when I'm not holding the camera. I'm going to put them up, and with one side I'm going to press the cross brace against it and run a bolt through and finish this part of the installation. So I'm going to put the camera on the stand and I will demonstrate this part here. So here we go. Grab the spacers. I'll keep the cross brace handy. I'm going to put it on the top of the rear tire. 1. Try to keep a little pressure on it so it doesn't tip over, and you're not going to lose it. I mean, if it falls inside the fender, you can always just reach in and remove. I'm going to put the cross brace tabs against it to keep it in place. Now you're going to grab the 80 millimeter long bolt, one by one, run it through. If you need to rattle it a little bit to find the mounting hole, is fine. Just go until you find it and gently hand thread it when you feel that it's catching the thread. Okay, so this is in place. The bolts are in place. I hand threaded them. What's going to help you when you're actually feeding it through, as if you need to rattle or wiggle it a bit, try to look through, and then you will see when it's lined up. So you will be just applying a little pressure with your hand from the bottom side on the bolt and thread it in. So it's actually hanging right now. I'm going to go and thread it in some more until I feel comfortable with it, and then going to put the nut on the other side, but that's the next step. I'm using this little extension that comes pretty handy. It's going to speed up your threading in process. It's better than using the ratchet. So with this, I have a better feel on the thread, and I'm not gonna cross thread it. So right now, this is actually a little too tight. I wanna make sure that it rattles a bit. So I'm gonna back it up just a bit. Now it's much better, and now it rattles, which is really good. We wanna do loose fitting. Okay, so next step. So I'm gonna place on the little washers and the nylock nuts, 2 of them, just hand thread, like so, and number 2 as well. Okay, and we're gonna move on to the next step. Okay, so this is next, the front top bracket, which is shaped almost like a question mark. We're gonna put it right here. I'm gonna remove the OEM bolt that goes into the subframe. I'm gonna place this on top. It looks like this. It looks like this. And I actually suggest that you use, I'm going to, medium strength thread locking fluid, and only apply just a dab. I think we still have some left in it. Oops. It's more than a dab, but better than nothing. And drop it in and hand thread. Don't use tool right now. It should be pretty easy. It's really smooth. And just like with the cross brace down here, I'm gonna leave it loose. Just like that, a little rattle is good on it. Okay, next step. Okay, so I'm gonna mount the left side pannier rack. Again, it's the same step as on the right side. And I will insert this long M8 bolt. It's about 30 millimeters long. I'm gonna put it through here on this question mark shaped tab. And on the other side, the washer and the locking nut. It's a bit of a tight space, so be patient. While you're doing this, I'm gonna keep it with one finger on the back end, and with these 2 fingers, just gonna thread it. And it's actually on right now, so we're good to go. I'm gonna grab the 6 millimeter diameter bolt with the hex head, and of course washer and the nylock nut. And the cross braces tab goes on top of the Pannier frames tab. Okay, I'm gonna drop in the hex bolt, and from the underside, I'm gonna put on the washer and thread on the locking nut, like so. So this actually on is really loose, and we're gonna move on to the next step, which is the foot peg. So with the foot peg, you actually have to remove the foot peg completely. Here there's a spacer, it's taller or wider, and on the back, there's a narrower piece. Apply some thread locking, and spacer goes in the groove. You bring it up here and keep it against the tab of the frame, the pannier frame, and try to make sure that both mounting holes line up. And one trick to do that is, if it's not going in, don't force it. Try to rattle a bit, try to move it a little bit until you feel that it's going through, it's caught the thread, and just use your finger, right? Just don't use any tool right now. I know it's engaged, it's in there, it's really good. I'm just gonna leave it loose, but you're gonna have to use the 8 millimeter Allen socket. It's too much right now. I can't really rattle it anymore, so I'm gonna back it up a bit because we like loose fitting. So now it's loose, the bolt's engaged, and we're gonna move to the cross brace. Okay, so this is the final step of the assembly, the cross brace. Same with the cross brace up here. This is the longer side because the Africa Twin pannier racks, or our Africa pannier racks, are not symmetrical. Shorter side goes on the left, the longer side goes on the right side. And these are the tabs. Both tabs have 2 mounting holes each, and this is where you're going to be using the 6mm diameter hex bolts with the washers and the locking nut. Okay, so the cross brace actually goes in between the Pannier frame's tabs. So it's in between. The holes line up. I'm going to push one and the second bolt through. Now here you can either go on the other side and repeat the same thing so your cross brace stays in place, or if you are good enough, skilled enough, then you will put the washer on the top or the bottom one, and while holding this in place with your fingers, you can thread on the locking nut. One, okay, and the second one on the bottom, and repeat the same on the right side. Bring this up, push the bolt through, washer, locking nut, hand thread. The bottom, same. Okay, so now the cross brace is actually installed. What we're going to do now is go around with our recommended tools and tighten in each bolt and nut. So I'm going to go ahead and just really, I'm going to tighten it, but not fully tighten everything. I'm going to go around step by step and tighten a little bit, swap out my tool, tighten this a little bit, swap out my tool to 12 back here and tighten just a bit. And then you go around once again and then fully tighten. So step by step and not one bolt by bolt and full torque pressure, okay? Okay, Ida fender innan tässä neismer. Okay, so here you get a counter hold. So here you actually have to counter hold. You need the wrench or spanner 13mm, and up here the 13mm socket. So it's going to go down here and up here. This might take a bit longer because it's far from fully engaged. Don't fully tighten it. I think this is pretty good. On to the next one and repeat the same. It's not fully tightened yet, but it's getting pretty good. Okay, not fully tightened, but it's good. And here, the 10mm. You can put the wrench down here and socket up here. This one needs to go a long ways as well. Long thread. Okay, not fully tightened, but pretty good. And then a cross brace. Same tools. I can't really put the wrench back here because it fouls the cross brace. So I'm just going to put it on the outside and the wrench on the inside. Same thing, it's not fully torqued down yet with all the force necessary, but it's pretty good. Okay, and on the right side as well. So now I explained to you how I do things and how I suggest you do things as well. It's not fully tightened yet, but it's pretty close to it. You went around, start all over again, grab your 8mm socket, 8mm Allen socket, and the rest. And now this is the final step. Now you can actually go ahead and tighten all of them. There's no rattling anymore, but the bolts are still a bit loose in the nuts. So finish it up, put the seat back on, go for a ride. Maybe do 150 kilometers or 100 kilometers, 100 miles or so. And then when you return home or to your base, grab your tools again and check that all the bolts and nuts are fully tightened, okay? So thank you so much for watching. You got any questions, leave us a comment or email us, info@outbackmotortek.com. And you can also find this video installation on our website with the drilling template attached to it. Yeah, so that's about it. Thank you so much for watching, and you have a great day.